Good morning. I'm Alex. I'm in Sweden. We had temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius this night, so the water is cold. That means like this is going to be an explanation video on tight, loose, tight, and it is time boxed by cold. So let's go. Don't take longer than we need. I found a very interesting pattern we use in the agile world a lot. Tight, loose, tight. We need a lot of tightness in the beginning to then create a phase of self-organization that is pretty loose. And then we have to be very tight, consequent in the end again. So that means we prepare phases of letting go and letting people and brains perform with a lot of tightness and clarity about like everything. So we find that also in Scrum, for example, when you go for a proper planning, then have like the self-organized sprint, and then you have the feedback cycles to be really consequent to improve your system and your products. This tight, loose, tight pattern can also explain why agile transformations fail, because most organizations, classic organizations, they come from a loose, tight, loose pattern. That means they are not very tight, not very clear in the beginning. You start a project, or maybe you even start an agile transformation. No one knows really why. What is this about? Information is missing. Not everyone is on the same page. And then while you're doing it, it's very tight management reporting. You have management attention. People want to know status about that. And in the end, often we have like looking at results and then saying like, oh, not really what we expected, but let's agree that's okay, and everybody like gets its bonus. Yeah. So when you come from a loose, tight, loose pattern, and you're gonna run like an agile transformation, for example, often you end up by loosening also in the middle. This is because like Scrum Masters, agile coaches, consultants or whatever tell you, yeah, you have to let go. You know, you leaders, you have to be friendly, you have to let go and trust your people. But if you do not create tightness in the beginning and in the end, then you end up with a pattern that is loose, loose, loose. And that's really bad. No one has any orientation anymore. People don't know like what to do, don't know if they're doing the right things and the right ways or whatever. And normally when this happens, then like after 1 or 2 years, people in the company say, well, agile doesn't work here. Yeah. So how to get out of that trap? Best way, I think, would be if you find yourself in a classic organization that has a loose, tight, loose pattern, then actually you should be tightening in the beginning and in the end. And this tightness here in the beginning, for example, that doesn't have to come from leaders only. Of course, in classical organization that only react to hierarchy, this is something that has to be created by leaders first. But later on, in modern organizations, this tightness can be created by markets, by value creation, by informal networks. Yeah. So running an agile transformation, classic organization with a loose, tight, loose pattern, you go for tight, tight, tight. Tightening more in the beginning, tightening more in the end. Becoming more consequent in the beginning, becoming more consequent in the end. Really using the feedback cycles and pulling consequence out of it. That's annoying, that's bad, that's like exhausting. But once you created that, then you can loosen up in the middle, and then you can create beautiful phases of self-organization, and people will know what to do, and they're doing the right things, and they're engaged and motivated and all that wonderful thing. So my last sentence here, because it's getting really cold now, always focus, how can we create more tightness to enable better self-organization? Here, that's a good thing to have discussions around that with everyone in the organization. Hope you liked it. Hope you go for more of the tight, loose, tight pattern to create better agile worlds and better and modern organizations. See ya.